Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finance and General Purposes Committee, the Stanley Town Council, being held here at the greenhouse in Greencroft, on the 9th of June. We will move straight on to the agenda. And we move on to number 1, which is housekeeping. Mobile phones, please, on silent or switched off. We don't have any scheduled fire drills, so in the event of a fire drill or the alarm going off, we must notify the nearest exits. Item 2, apologies for absence.
We have apologies from Councillor Timberley, who's at a conference, and apologies from Councillor Brian Berry, who is at a conference.
Okay. Everyone happy to accept the apologies? Move on to item 3, which is declarations of interest. Do any members have any declarations that they would like to indicate this evening? No? Okay. Move on to item 4. Procedural and appropriate announcements from the chair. I don't currently have any announcements to make. Move on to number 5, public participation. We don't have any members of the public present here tonight. Have we received any questions? Okay. We move on to item 6, which is confirmation of the minutes to approve the correct record and sign the minutes of our general purposes committee being held on the 12th of May 2026, which is attachment please. Does anyone have any questions, queries? Please look into them. Please have a movement. It's just not what that one do. That was absolutely. I was literally phasing is everybody happy to correct? Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And we move on to item 7, accounts for payment and bank reconciliation. Obviously, you will remember that in April we didn't have these due to weight pressures and probably from the general meeting. So we've now got April's and May's. So do you want to take them as individual months? Right, so we're looking at B, C, D, April, and E, F, G, and May, and all move anything. Does anybody have any questions that you would like to bring, or any observations on any of them? Can I ask a question? So, Christian, you know how we pay down is was sent them. Is that made to renegotiate a contract for a word thing? Going forward on the minimum values for these questions. I can look at the terms that we've got them on and get back to you to see if we can renegotiate and do. I've just got a question on the money advice. I can see that we obviously paid the money advice. There's some of it missing. Do you feel that's definitely? Yeah. So part room, I can see that we've paid the difference that we would have with have we given us any indication when that might start?
They have been able to start very soon, as soon as the short date.
And just freely reading on the obviously there's a lot of postage. Can I just clarify? Do we send everything out by post to the allotment holders? Purely for clarification.
Sure.
No, so obviously in March we had quite high. Is that the annual things to them?
Would it be March, possibly? I mean,
We had in March we had £83. In February we had £64.
until I check the records, but I imagine it could be letters of invites or changes to the association, in fact, the direct prorated invoices, if that's happened. So there could be a number of reasons why. I'll find the details out for you, a bit with the exact. I think we have been sending quite a few letters of various matters, but I can find out each year.
And I think we'll on the means taking it now, and the packed house one, that's the like full and final thing. Yes. Yeah. True. So if nobody else has anything to ask, is there any? I'm happy to take them all together. Having proposed everyone, sorry, what it means? This is who has everybody is happy to. Right. So we move on to item 8, which is casual vacancy. Committee to request and review document. This meeting the new page. Attachment page. So, yes, please.
So the rationale for this is obviously, as we all know, the budgets are tight, you're not getting any, we don't improve any time. So it was really to put a paper together to look at the options if there were to be any changes. And I hope it's comprehensive, rather than a question, and that's to do with choice and co-option for by-election. So really it is based primarily on the cost of carrying out by-elections within the town council. We currently budget for the 4 yearly elections, but we don't at this moment in time budget for any by-elections. And due to budget pressures, if that were to happen, we would have to put a significant amount away on an annual basis to cover that. So really it was just a consideration and to see whether this is something that I should probably or in addition to it.
Is anyone have any questions?
If I don't read over it earlier, I think it makes full sense in a region which there's not fine and have that policy in place. It sets out to the 10 electeds there's that petitioning for a full selection, or whether we can issue the comments and be around material basically gets slotted in. By-elections are expensive.
I have 3 questions. So it's the rigmarole and the costs. If to plot someone on is so much simpler and now spotted on first, because basically when money wasn't there, if the money's not there, how do you feel for a by-election? So what is really the sensible option? It will be going to full council, and the proposal was that should anybody drop off, from any particular group, that it would be a person that would be co-opted on from that group, so there would be no change.
I understand
to
it,
the,
but I
and it
can't,
will.
I want to speak with you.
And what you're not speaking for the, tonight, you wouldn't be speaking for the others, and tonight the vote will be, do we take it to full council? That's all we're voting on tonight.
Right, okay. Just reiterating, me, I think given where we are with the budget and the front, you know, I haven't got the money that we're expecting come in, so I think it's the sensible way.
And the only other thing, I don't know how people feel for me, is it will only be for the duration of this council.
Yeah.
Once the election comes up next time to renew for Stanley Town Council, one of the first things that will be on the AGM or the town meeting would be, this would disappear. It wouldn't be there. It will be for the new council to decide whether they want to go down similar route.
So when the decision is made, you put that date on the document. That
It will cease.
yes,
Yes, that's fine. It will just be for the duration of this council, in this council.
The reasoning being that averaging 9,000 pounds in election could prove quite difficult for this council. And it would mean, and for me makes absolute sense, the political balance will stay the same, nothing will change, and it hasn't cost the public anything. And that's the difficult decision. You know, this is how we were elected, that's fine, the public will agree this, and we want to stay until the end of the term of office, not costing the public anything.
So, is everybody in agreement that it goes forward and take it to full council? Yes. Yeah. Mr. Anonymous? Yes, please. So you move on to item 9, which is a substitution policy. Committee is requested to consider if we obviously recommended if we have a slight change in our standard areas to allow a substitute to be brought in if somebody can't attend one of the committee meetings. That is obviously, we've had an issue this evening with our HR committee that should have happened prior to this one, where we had 2 councillors absent from the team put in apologies, which meant it was not on board. That committee should actually have 5 members on, and it currently only has 4. And due to the balance, if it's okay, I would suggest that currently there are 2 Dermside independents, 1 Lead Home and 1 Labour on that committee. To make 5, which is in our constitution, we've just agreed, and there should be 5. I would propose that we put another Dermside independent onto that, so that we can ensure that we do have more chance of getting forward. We don't want to have any of these cancelled because we want to turn it up and not turning up, but not being able to attend for whatever reason. So along with the substitution policy that we'll discuss in a second, I would also like to propose that, and we also consider that. So I think that's okay with everybody. Anything else? Issues with that? Yeah.
It's not an issue in us per se, it's Animal Junket Council used to have some meetings used to have a substitute policy for different committees. The last time it's notification, so that if, just for instance, if James could turn up, James is substituting whatever the person's name is, you go substitute with, and it's given the council notification of that, and that should work perfectly well. And then, you know, you're not having a situation where a political group or party are not represented that event.
So, has everybody had a look at the attachment in I? And we thought we'd to consider and approve that and recommend middle floors to take council. Yeah. Yeah. You want that? No. I'm just saying, I'm doing what I do. Well, obviously, it's still going to go to full council, but it obviously means if some people can't, and then people don't want to substitute, well, that's fine. That's fine. It's not it's not a compulsory. It's just that we've got something in place that should somebody not want to, it gives a chance that
Somebody else from another party can stand in.
well, it doesn't even have to be another party. I mean, it can be if you wish, but it doesn't have to be. It can be whoever.
Well, if you can't attend, you can nominate somebody to turn up in your absence. I'm not sure I don't want to do a photo. But you just not do. I mean, Cameron's on his chair title, and John's got such things. A little bit of time and stuff, and childcare managers, and Brian's and building using.
I mean, down to personal things, we don't really want to get into that. We just want, in principle, that if somebody can't attend, that they would put their apologies in, say their reason for non-attendance, and say that they've asked another member within Stanley, obviously councillor, within Stanley Town Council, would they be happy to substitute for them?
Excellent fact, I also know, but I'm saying they're Christine, but it wouldn't be right, Joe could say, oh, well, Kristen's not going, you can go, Kristen, better be somebody you choose, you didn't. If you wanted somebody to go, you have
somebody or do I not like
You don't,
I don't have to, no.
It's just,
It's very good regarding users. I think from an operative point of view, sometimes depending on what the meeting is, if there's quite a lot of business to get through, it then stores it for midnight, so it's quite useful to, and as you know, most of those through the full council anyway, so it's not a one time only resource, but it does mean that we can get through business.
Everybody's fine. You put that forward to full council?
Yeah.
Anyone have any thought? Okay. Anonymous, anyone for abstentions, no disagreements? Oh. So if we move on to item 10, and we have 2 members initiative, one members initiative fund. We were attaching J. So it's being put in by Councillor Tinley and Councillor Thompson, Owens, Wood and Gibson, and it's to give some money towards the community association to take the Friday banner to the Miners Gala. Predominantly, I think, to cover costs or to partially cover costs for the band and transportation. Is everyone have any issue? Is everybody happy to opinion? The attachment, that's the FGA. We come to item 11, which is minus 50. Budget deferral.
And so, as you know, the hope was that we would have the Miners Picnics Heritage event this year. The difficulties being that the schools are unable this year to get involved in the timing of it, and we would be really like that, and to get sort of more time to plan it properly. It's just one that we would continue to plan now, but in order to do that, we need permission from council to move the budget that's allocated to that into 2027. 28, so that we can start planning now and can make it a, you know, a good event. Yeah, to make sure we can get the right date,
Yeah.
with the venue and the schools involved and all the rest of it. And so it really is just to get permission to take that through for council to refer that particular budget for till next year.
Yeah. Is everybody happy to do that? Absolutely. And then move on to item 12, which is the timing of the next meeting, which is on Tuesday, the 14th of July, 2026 at 6:30 here in the greenhouse in Greencroft. That's item 12. And then move on to item 13, which is exclusion of the press in public, to resolve it under the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act of 1960, that is the press and broadcast media be excluded from the meeting with the following items of business, as publicity would be prejudicial to the public interest due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted. Okay.